With West Virginia playing in their bowl game tonight against Minnesota, and Clemson playing in their bowl game tomorrow against Iowa State, I thought it was a good time to look back at a bowl game that may have changed the college football landscape. A game West Virginia walked away with a 70-33 victory in the 2012 Orange Bowl. Yes, you heard that score right. But why did this change everything? Stay tuned to find out. Before we get into why this game may have changed everything, let's go through these teams' seasons leading up to the game. Clemson was led by third-year head coach Dabo Swinney, who was 15-12 at the time as a head coach. Swinney's offensive coordinator at the time was Chad Morris, who was initially viewed as a risky hire, but would work out for Clemson as he brought in a fast-paced, up-tempo offense that would go on to shatter many of Clemson's offensive records. On the defensive side of the ball, they were led by defensive coordinator Kevin Steele. Steele had led a top 25 defense his first 2 years as the Clemson defensive coordinator, but struggled to simplify his scheme with weak linebacker play throughout the 2011 season. Clemson was led by quarterback Tajh Boyd, who threw for 3,828 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, finding wide receiver Sammy Watkins 82 times for 1,219 yards and 12 touchdowns, as well as DeAndre Hopkins 72 times for 978 yards and 5 touchdowns. Andre Ellington led the team on the ground with 1,178 yards and 11 touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, they were very talented on the line, later having 4 players drafted from the unit, but struggled at the linebacker position all season long. The Tigers started their season off on an 8-game win streak that included wins over the 21st ranked Auburn Tigers, number 11th ranked Florida State Seminoles, and 11th ranked Virginia Tech Hokies on the road over a 3-week span. They would suffer their first loss of the season to Georgia Tech on the road 31-17 before rebounding with a win over Wake Forest. Before the Tech loss, they had risen to be as high as 6th in the AP poll. They then proceeded to drop their last 2 regular season games on the road against North Carolina State and on the road against South Carolina. During the ACC championship game, the Tigers would upset the 5th ranked Hokies 38-10 to earn the bid to play in the Orange Bowl. They entered the bowl game as the 14th ranked team in the nation, and the berth in the Orange Bowl was the Tigers' first major bowl appearance since the 1981 national championship season. Going to the game, Swinney told ESPN, "Hopefully when things are all over, people are going to be talking about the Clemson defense." They were talking about the defense after the game, but for all the wrong reasons. West Virginia, on the other hand, was playing in their final season as a member of the Big East before moving to the Big 12 the following year. They were led by first-year head coach Dana Holgorsen, who was basically hired as the coach-in-waiting back in December of 2010, which strained his relationship with head coach Bill Stewart. Although Stewart was expected to coach during the 2011 season, he would ultimately resign in June of 2011. The Mountaineers saw a lot of coaching turnover throughout the early part of the 2011 season on the offensive side of the ball, but retained the entire 2010 defensive staff. Holgorsen planned to serve as his own offensive coordinator. Geno Smith had a fantastic season, throwing for 4,385 yards, 31 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions. He found Tavon Austin 101 times for 1,186 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns, and he finished with 1,368 all-purpose yards and 9 total touchdowns. Austin had also been dangerous in the return game, finishing with 2 touchdowns as well. Stedman Bailey finished the year with 72 receptions for 1,279 yards and 12 touchdowns through the air. The Mountaineers came into the season ranked 24th in the preseason poll and opened up the year on a 3-game win streak before losing to the second-ranked LSU Tigers 47-21 at home. They rebounded with 2 wins over Bowling Green and UConn, who was actually good at playing football at the time, before losing on the road to Syracuse 49-23. At the time, they were the 11th best team in the nation. They would then beat Rutgers on the road before dropping a heartbreaker to Louisville at 38-35, but that would be the last time they would lose a close game the rest of the season. West Virginia ended the regular season with a string of narrow wins over 23-ranked Cincinnati 24-21, Pitt 21-20, and South Florida 30-27. They finished the season in a 3-way tie as Big East co-champs, and because they were the only ranked team, they earned the Orange Bowl bid. Hey you! Yeah, you! How do you think this game changed the trajectory of the Clemson football program? Let me know in the comment section below. If you are enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it because it really helps the video in the algorithm. Going into the game, Clemson was favored and all everybody talked about was Clemson. At the start of the game, the Tigers were not ready for West Virginia's sugar huddle that they had installed during bowl prep. It's a close-to-the-line huddle whereby the offense bursts into place, essentially hiding the formation and forcing the defense to scramble. Jake Spavital, the quarterback coach at the time, told The Athletic, "They always set their formation to the field with the nickelbacks, so we would tempo out of the sugar huddle and shoot to a formation into the boundary to get them into a different check. Then we'd go into a quick motion with Tavon. We knew Clemson was very talented up front, and we had to get it going sideline to sideline, and Tavon obviously was a special talent. Austin dazzled on the fly sweep, turning pre-snap motions into blistering sprints and turning Smith's volleyball-style touch passes into scores of 8, 3, and 27 yards. Everything the Mountaineers dialed up was hitting. Smith scrambled for a touchdown, and old-school tailback Sean Alston ran for 2 scores. The Mountaineers had only scored 6 touchdowns throughout their last 3 games of the regular season and had more going into the half, up 49-20 in this game. The game was so out of reach, the West Virginia coaching staff allowed several backups to go out and watch Train, who was a halftime show. West Virginia's offensive show continued humming in the third quarter with back-to-back scoring drives of 73 and 74 yards. One of them came with Austin running a slant route out of the slot and juked 2 defensive backs on a 37-yard score. Geno Smith finished with 6 passing touchdowns, and Tavon Austin finished with 4 total touchdowns. The Clemson defense missed tackle after tackle, and former Clemson cornerback Xavier Brewer told The Athletic, "What I remember about the game is going into it, feeling ourselves a little bit too much. I think we saw them at a function and saw how small they were, like some of the best players, so that's not off to a good start, especially when those little guys happen to be, Tavon Austin. Some pretty freaky good football players embarrassed us for not respecting the game." After the game, Kevin Steele would be fired, and it led to the hiring of Oklahoma defensive coordinator Brett Venables. Venables said he had been watching Clemson and rooting for the Tigers for about a year prior to the Orange Bowl because of the admiration he had for the way the up-and-coming Sweeney ran his program. Clemson seemed genuine, he said, and it looked like a team that had fun. Venables and Sweeney say the Orange Bowl was not the reason Steele was fired, with Venables telling The Athletic they actually played pretty good defense when Coach Steele was there. Really good at times. Dominant at times. It was just a difference in opinion, and it was probably a mutual thing. Philosophies and things like that. It was just time. Obviously, I benefited from it in so many ways, so many levels because of that. By 2014, the Tigers had the best defense in the nation, while from 2015 to 2020, the Tigers had played in every college football playoff and won 2 national titles. Brewer told The Athletic, "It was a wake-up call for the program and especially the guys on defense. You hate for your defensive coordinator to get fired, especially feeling like you were the reason he got fired. It was just a crazy year." Clemson would go 11-2 in 2012 and won the Chick-fil-A Bowl 25-24 over LSU. Eric McLean, a redshirt tight end at the time, recently told The Athletic, "A lot of people want to say the LSU game was kind of the jumping point for us. The ass whooping from West Virginia was the jumping off point. That's what changed everything." West Virginia, on the other hand, has not returned to a major bowl game since. In my opinion, this game was the turning point for the Clemson football program. But what do you think? Was this the turning point for the Tigers? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other videos right here. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.